Hey guys, how's it going? Like Butter here, and today I have some really exciting news for any of you guys who like the Division or are fans of the Division and knew that there needed to be some changes in the future in order for it to keep your interest, because there is a patch coming out tomorrow on March 22nd. There's going to be timed maintenance where they're going to bring the servers down and they're going to implement this update, and I want to go over these patch notes with you because there's a lot of exciting things in here for all people, whether you are a rogue PvP player like myself, or if you're just straight up like a PvE player who likes to kind of just play casually in the dark zone, or if you just like going around and looting with friends. This is going to be a lot of changes that are going to influence everyone in a positive way. So I put a link in the description of the patch notes. If you guys can click that real quick, we're going to go over these patch notes really fast, and I'll tell you guys my opinions on it and why things are changed. So I'm really excited because you guys know that the last couple of videos that I made has been talking about the needed changes to the rogue system and how rogues need to be more rewarded for surviving manhunts and stuff like that. And to see that they kind of answered a lot of the problems that I put in my video. I'm not so sure that they saw my video, but it's kind of insane how many of the problems that I talked about are fixed in this update. So let's first go over the gameplay. Now, it says named enemies will now drop loot in challenge mode that are better than they are in hard mode. So this is really good because, as most of you know, you could kind of just go through on challenge mode, and the only thing you really looked forward to was the item that they give you for a reward. You didn't really have a chance at getting anything good from the bosses. So, like, you pretty much were just doing it either for the Phoenix credits or just getting through it to get that item. And so it looks like now that the challenge mode bosses are going to drop a little bit better loot, which is really good. So it's going to be good for you guys that like playing through the challenge missions. So next thing is added a cooldown period for the static turret stun attack in order to avoid a stun lock in PvP and PvE. So that's the stun version of the turret that can pretty much shock you over and over and over again. It's happened to me before. I never knew this was a huge issue, but I guess people are starting to find out that it's pretty damn strong. So that's a good change. Now, this is the change that's going to nerf the Bullet King farm spot. As most of you guys know, there's kind of been a game-breaking farm spot that's even crazier than the Loot Cave in Destiny, where you could basically spawn in Autumn's Hope. I think it was Autumn's Hope or something like that, one of the safe houses, and you could leave the safe house, and there was a named boss out there that you could continuously farm over and over again just by killing the boss and not killing the AI around the boss, and then running back into the safe zone and running back out and, you know, rinse and repeat. So this is like their fix for that. I don't think the fix is very good, but at least it's going to keep people from myself from constantly farming that. But there's so many people out there doing it, I felt like it was necessary to do it myself. So if you are going to do it, today's the day to do that because it's getting patched tomorrow. But so if you want to stay on par with everyone else that's, you know, been farming it for days. I didn't do it that much, but I definitely did it a fair share. So named NPCs will no longer respawn after being killed in the open world. This will prevent situations where players will be able to kill the same named NPC over and over again. So this is strictly the problem with Bullet King that people were doing, how they were farming him over and over and over again. Now, I think there could have been a little bit of a better fix to this, maybe making the enemies timed, whereas if you kill the named NPC, he doesn't spawn for maybe like an hour or something like that. Completely removing it is kind of going to screw over the PvE players that stay out of the dark zone. So I think that's kind of a iffy fix, but it's quite possible that they're just doing it for now until they figure out a better way to do it. So modifications to the weapon talent Trained. Now, if you guys don't remember Trained, it was only in for a short time. It was on the Midas, which is the high-end version of the Uzi, and it was completely broken. If you built high crit on your character, you could basically get your special ability or your ultimate back every single second, like you had it on like off cooldown, because of the way that it would lower the percentage on hit whenever you would crit would lower. So after your ultimate is finished, it would be back up again. So they re-entered the talent, but it's changed significantly. Instead of 1 to 5% on a crit, it's down to 0.1%. So it seems like this is still going to be a useful talent to have on your weapons, but it's not going to be as overpowered as it was. I think Massive probably underestimated the amount of crit you could build on a weapon in order to kind of just bring that ultimate back up. As most of you guys know, the ultimate abilities in this game are broken as hell as it is. So for the Midas, they talked about the trained talent being replaced with the responsive talent, which increases damage when getting close to the target. So maybe this will make the Midas a little bit better. It'll be like one of those up-in-your-face weapons that you're going to use. But for all SMGs, LMGs, and assault rifles, it'll be replaced with another randomly picked weapon talent. So these are for you guys who had this talent on your SMGs or on your LMGs or whatnot. It's going to get replaced with something else random. So fix the speedrun exploit from the rooftop comm replay mission. I had no idea about this. All of these here, all these bug fixes and stuff like that, these aren't really that crazy. These are just little things that only some people have noticed. But let's get to the Dark Zone, because this is the most exciting thing that I've seen, because I spend most of my time in the Dark Zone. I know a lot of you guys who watch my videos do as well, and I think a lot of us came to an agreement that there needed to be changes with the rogue system. I understand there's some people out there that believe that you should be punished for going rogue, which is absolutely true. I totally agree with that. But I do also think that if you are going to survive a manhunt or a really long pursuit, that you should be, you know, rewarded in that way. So let's go over, this is what blew my mind, because a lot of these things were direct answers to the questionable things that I put in my video. So let's go with the first line. Players can now heal other neutral players in the Dark Zone by using first aid and support station skills. Now, at first, I thought this was like, wow, they're even making it harder for rogues, because basically what's going to happen is everyone who is non-rogue, it can help anyone else. So, for example, say you guys are fighting a group of rogues, and someone comes up that's not even in your squad. You can use your abilities to heal that person, which I think is a great change. It makes for better combat and better for people who aren't in groups, for sure. So if you're playing solo and you're fighting a group of rogues, you're not basically on your own. Other people that can come up that you don't even know, who are also division agents, can help you. So that's an awesome change. I really like that. Next line, players are now able to fast travel to Dark Zone checkpoints, but only when coming from outside the Dark Zone. That's pretty cool. That was kind of an annoying thing. You would have to like fast travel to a mission near the Dark Zone, and then you would have to run to it. This way, if you're at the base of operations or, you know, somewhere else, you can just fast travel directly to the Dark Zone, which is pretty cool. I think that's awesome. So that's going to keep people from like going into one door and then like teleporting to another door. Although I do see that being a little bit weird, because I guess if you're running from a group of rogue, you could run into one of the Dark Zone checkpoints, go out, and then teleport to a different Dark Zone. I don't know if that's going to get exploited, but we'll have to see. The Dark Zone disconnect timer has been increased to 30 seconds. This is pretty good, so it keeps people from like combat logging or anything like that. Yeah, this meaning players will remain in the game world longer when logging out, and so that's good. That's good that nobody can really combat log. I'm not sure why they made that change. I didn't know if that was an issue, but you know, maybe you guys know. Leave me a comment in the comment section below if you ever seen someone combat log, because I haven't really seen that. Items extracted from the Dark Zone are now properly marked as new, which is good, so you know like which items you just extracted. Players killed in the Dark Zone now drop ammo, medkits, and grenades. This is huge, because I talked about in my rogue video yesterday how if you and your group are rogue and say you're underground trying to hold it down, and there's just waves of players spawning in and coming in, and you're killing them and you're killing them and you're killing them, and eventually you're gonna run out of ammo and you're gonna run out of supplies. And I talked about that specifically in my video. The fact that they changed this is awesome for you rogue players out there, because what's gonna happen is when those people are constantly suiciding into you, they're gonna be be giving you supplies. They're going to be giving you their leftover first aid kits. They're going to be giving you the ammo. So you're going to be able to have infinite resources, which is good because I feel like rogues need a little bit more slack considering the entire server is just going to be flying in at them. So that is an awesome change for rogue players. And also, if you notice, it says this loot is generated and not taken from the dying player's inventory. So that's really good too. So if somebody spawns in with 5 medkits, they don't basically get their medkits stolen. So it just helps rogue, but it doesn't like grief the non-rogues at all either. Next line, players killed in the Dark Zone will lose less Dark Zone funds and experience, rogue and non-rogue, which is huge because a lot of people that were against the whole rogue system, one of their complaints was that, well, when they get killed by a group of rogues, they lose a lot of XP. So this is good. This is going to make it so that whether you're rogue or non-rogue, you're going to lose a lot less funds and a lot less XP, which is huge. This is really good. Like, I went from Dark Zone level 55 to Dark Zone level 37 just by PvPing for a couple of nights. So seeing that this is getting reduced is really awesome. I think we all needed that. Next line, Dark Zone funds and experience rewards for surviving rogue status have been improved. Yes, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted as a rogue player. We wanted a reason to go rogue. So you guys are going to see a lot more rogue in the Dark Zone, which is really good. So if you're a little bit upset about this, saying, well, you know, there's going to be more people going rogue, if you read the next line, it says Dark Zone funds and experience rewarding for killing rogue agents have been improved as well. So the experience and the DZ funds lost is getting lowered, and the reward for killing rogue agents and surviving for rogue is getting increased. So this is not only helping rogue players, it's helping people who hunt rogue players as well. So this is awesome. Now the next line is what really got me excited. Unfortunately, they tried to do this fix and it was causing client stability issues, so they had to remove it. But the Phoenix credit drops have been increased on level 31 and 32 enemies. So that basically means, you know, the bosses that are in the higher DZ zones like DZ06, DZ05, even DZ04, you're going to have higher Phoenix credit drop rates for those named bosses, which is awesome, but they had to remove it in this update because it was causing stability issues. So hopefully they fix that in the future because it's going to make a lot more people want to go up there and kind of farm name bosses and stuff like that. However, the other changes are absolutely awesome as well. Increased drop rate of high-end items for level 31 and 32 named NPCs, which means that when you go up north into DZ05 and DZ06, you're going to have higher chances for them to drop high-end weapons and high-end loot, which is great. So it's going to give people a reason to go up there, which is absolutely awesome. Increased drop rate of high-end division tech material from level 32 named NPCs in the Dark Zone as well. So like that's huge as well, because the division techs are so hard to get sometimes, because if somebody picks up a division tech and you're not near them and you're not in their group, that's going to be on cooldown. So it's really hard to get gold division techs. That's actually been holding my gear back a lot, because there's been a lot of situations where I just can't find division techs. So farming the higher level boss is actually going to be worth doing now, especially when they put in the Phoenix credit changes instead of, you know, 1 to 3 like the level 30s. The 31s and the 32s you're going to get up near like 5 Phoenix credits, which is good because those higher level bosses are really hard to kill. You kind of have to have an entire group up there working together and playing as a team in order to do so. Now, these changes here are what blew my mind and made me extremely happy. Improved Dark Zone chest item quality. The items that you got in the Dark Zone chests were terrible. They were always purples and they were never worth getting, and you could never ever get a high-end item. At least I've never seen one, and I've opened up so many crates, and now they are available. It says here, rank 30 chests will now drop superior purple items, which means the chests that you don't have to use a key on, instead of those dropping blues, they're going to be dropping purples, which is cool. And the keys chest, which is the Dark Zone keys that you use, now have a chance to drop a high-end item. So you could go up and use one of your Dark Zone keys and open up a chest and get a high-end item in that chest, which is something that the chest lacked. I wasn't even opening them anymore because there was no point. So lucky for for me. I have like 100, I think I have like 120 DZ keys that I haven't used, the Dark Zone keys. So I'm really excited that now when we come across a chest, it's worth opening them because you have a chance at getting a high-end weapon or item. This is also going to make it so that people have a lot higher of a chance of having high-end loot on them, so it's going to make PvPing a lot more rewarding for picking up loot items. Dark Zone fund drop rate and quantity on NPCs has been reduced, so you don't get as many Dark Zone funds on an enemy, which is something that was way too high, of course, because you know, you could sit there and you could get the same amount from killing NPCs than if you survived like a manhunt. So I think that's pretty good that they're reducing that. And then the rest of these are just kind of fix bugs and stuff like that. But I wanted to talk about just the major things in this. If you want to read through the rest of it, that's totally up to you. All the other improvements and changes are a bit minuscule in my opinion, but I'm so excited for this. I was pretty much like at a point where I had nothing to do in the Division, and now that they're making these changes and they're making PvP way more worth doing, this is going to be a lot of fun, and I know my entire group is extremely excited for this, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and I want to thank you guys for tweeting my videos at the devs and stuff, because part of me really does believe that some of the devs may have seen the video that I put out and like your guys' comments as well, backing up what I had to say. So it really means a lot to me that you guys support me, and you know, hopefully it looks really good on paper. Let's hope that it plays out really well. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop the video a like, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care, everybody.